Hi, it's Eric here. And so Zachary. We're talking about life changes. Zachary is going through menopause, and he wanted to talk a little bit about some of the changes, some of the hot flashes, things like that. So go ahead, Zachary. Tell us all about it. What were we saying before I made us stop and start recording, or asked us to stop and start recording?
Um, I was talking about the sort of nature of media, or what media has became in like our modern age, and especially on YouTube, and it's where people watch, YouTube personalities, YouTube channels, more than just the information. I mean, I think that there certainly is a crowd that comes to us for information regarding Jungian cognitive faculties and MBTI and sociologics and things like that. But that's not everything the channel's about. And more importantly, it's like people who regularly come into the GTMs, they're familiar with most of the people who regularly come in. I mean, if you think of like Tommy Trenton, Mega Bro. I don't want to start naming names because I'm going to leave people out. That they're going to feel like that I'm excluding them or something. But I mean, you start feeling like these people are like your real, friends, and that's so interesting that media in its current incarnation has provided that bridge to people that think if there wasn't the internet, I never would have met any of the people I have on here. Never would have ran into all of the. It's like like-minded, And if someone's watching like YouTube videos talking to famous people, they're going to feel connected to your personality. They're going to feel connected to the person they're watching, even though they've never met them. And that provides a like you said before, like a sort of a spiritual influence.
Well, before we started recording this, I was explaining to Zachary that when he came on, I really didn't. There was a key thing I didn't understand, which is I figured like, okay, if I can find out how to make the right kind of informational videos or to provide some sort of servicey thing, right? So the GoToMeeting Session seems like a good service, and my original, very original idea with talking with people was Facebook driven. It was like, well, I'll interview somebody I know from Facebook, and then I'll just sort of like Amway my way through Facebook as they recommend their friend to be interviewed, and it didn't work out like that at all. It was an idea, but it didn't play out like that. What I didn't understand was that I could do it all on YouTube. I just didn't get YouTube is the thing. Like that there's people who are a community of people who are interacting with each other and video makers about their videos and stuff. So anyway, I was looking for ways to take a little bit of momentum that maybe I had generated in the channel by getting a couple good videos and turn it into a fully functioning channel on the notion that I had to provide some sort of information or somebody who was going to be very like popular, well liked. So I grasped onto Zachary saying like, okay, Zachary, you are going to be popular and well liked. I can tell. You're you're the right age. You're a good-looking fellow, and you're mannerly and stuff, and all that plays into one's success. And so I was like, well, let's do this shit, right? But at the end of the day, what I wasn't understanding is that to at least some of the extent, people watch the channel because of me and my personality or something. And I only recently came to realize I didn't understand that because I was talking to people and somebody said that to me. Well, it's because of you, and I was like, but I mean that's clear. The thing that's weird about it is it's clearly impossible. It's clearly impossible because I've spent my whole life having that explained to me, right?
The
And
thing is,
learning
it's
that.
like, well, it's like everything. I mean, you said this to me a long time ago, where it was the one of the significant parts about like time objects on YouTube is that the more energy you put into it, it sustains it, perpetuates it, and it can be a sort of documentation of a progression of someone, of character. and it fulfills its purpose as if you go back like 4 months ago, you can notice subtle but significant changes in personalities that change over time. And that's why, if you go back and watch old videos yourself, you still recognize it was you, but there's certain peculiarities that may have been evolved since then. And that's something that people latch onto. Because it's like it's human, really.
Yeah, this has changed me dramatically. It's changed my personality completely, actually. When I think about how I was prior to doing this whole time. And what I mean by prior to, I mean how I was in the early videos is as somebody who's putting up videos for no particular reason, no knowing purpose, except I couldn't get my interviews going like I wanted to, so I just ended up just putting up random shit. I mean, I couldn't find enough people to interview, so I just started putting up a bunch of solo stuff. But that person was, it, I he was really he had a lot more insecurities or something. I guess I don't know.
But like emotionally, or how would you describe it?
Well, I mean, it's such an issue for me. It's always been such an issue for me. This idea of having things I want to say, but not having anybody who wants to listen to me. For decades, it's been an issue. So, and I had fully accepted the reality that that was the case. And nobody wanted to listen to me at all. But I also understood that if I could say things that were useful enough they wanted to listen to the things I was saying, that then in that case, uh, I could potentially get somebody to listen to me a little bit, or be interested in listening to me, or think the thing I made was worth their attention for a few minutes. So, of course, it's a combination of things, right? You got to do both. You got to have something worth saying, and it matters how you say it, and it matters, what it matters where how it contextualizes within the other things you say. And so that's the other thing that's happened is I've developed my worldview to be less black and white because I've had to. I mean, otherwise, I'd be wrong more, and it wouldn't be counterproductive because nobody's going to be like, "Oh, good job being more exclusive and more of a dick and more unbendingly certain about everything in ways that don't actually contribute to the progression of the narrative, so to speak."
I think that I've definitely changed a lot since I first came on here too. I mean, if I go back, I've gone back multiple times and watched the first video I ever came on, and that was when I asked you about cultural relativism, I think. But it's definitely it's I've definitely gotten better at speaking since I've been on here. That's like the most obvious one is that in interacting with primarily you. I mean, other people on here are well spoken too, but um, you're the most well spoken of everyone, and it's sort of I can latch onto that, and it helped me develop the way I convey my own ideas. It helped me articulate a lot of ideas too, things that I couldn't really understand before, and now I have a greater um, sort of perspective on everything regarding definitely cognitive function stuff, but also politically as a person, sort of like my own development. I think that it's interacting with everyone on here has been a sort of and I mean obviously they get something out of it too, or they wouldn't be watching it. But it it sort of serves as a reflection of yourself that you can identify trends of your own behavior and what you're doing and how it affects people, and you become metacognitive of that on a level that you weren't before. And that was something that was elucidated to me when I started making videos and coming on here regularly. Is I realized that I became more aware of myself, more aware of my processes, and now I'm able to, um, I guess, be in a more authentic way than I was prior.
Me too. It's weird. It's weird that something like this, which would normally be classified as some kind of acting, although I don't feel like I'm acting, but you know, that I am, however, aware of how my presentation of ideas comes across as media way more than I used to be, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Which plays out in life too, because you realize, well, not only do I not want to bore people and blather on indefinitely in media, but I'd also like to not do that to you in person, ideally.
Yeah.
And of course, but the most important thing from my perspective with the third slot FE is uh, this insane experience of having people affirm me, and say, I like your video. I think you are a good person. Stuff like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's something that, I mean, even in throughout regular life, I guess. Although I wouldn't really parse this from like being not life, but you know what I mean. In like day-to-day activities, it's not something that really regularly occurs. There might be. Before I started coming on here, I had no idea how people viewed me. I had no. I was primarily blind of myself, of how I come off to people, and doing all of this has really it's clarified that for me, and it's helped me live more authentically. Is the best way I can put it. Is that I've become more aware of myself, and I didn't really understand how I came off to people, or how people perceive me. Um, and I think there's like a dialectic between how other people perceive you and how you perceive yourself, and somewhere in between that is, I guess, the real you.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I don't know how type specific it is, but I do know that when almost anybody watches themselves, either for whatever reason, like for, let's say they watch themselves in a debate round, a video of that, they'll come out of that experience of watching that with clear ideas about what they'd like to change the next time. And the same thing is true of the videos. I've finally gotten to a point where I only rewatch, I only watch really some of the ones I think are good, really good ones. But I used to watch them all. I used to watch them all multiple times for a long time, and I can't imagine anything being more educational than that. And leaving up the failures, that helps.
It allows you
So,
really to refine yourself.
I mean, it forces you to. And the other thing
Yeah.
is, I don't want to ever be with the YouTube messages like I am with just about every other communication medium. I don't want to be scared of this place. I'm scared of my email because I don't even know what it's going to bring. Somebody might be mad at me or whatever. I'm scared of fucking Facebook sometimes because I put up
Yeah.
something
That's why I
controversial.
deleted my Facebook, because I was scared of it. I don't know why. I'm just
Because you
it.
don't want to be called out on something for something, you know, or you don't want to be fucking find out that you hurt someone's feelings or something.
Yeah. It's like it's in a sense always being exposed in a way. But I don't know why I don't feel that the same way around here. I mean, it's more like, I guess it's just because the community is a lot more accepted. I mean, it's not that they don't give critiques every now and then, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
Zachary, don't make videos when you're sick. It's not a good experience for the audience.
I saw that comment. I saw that shit. Oh,
Oh,
I'm
I thought that was
surprised it
funny.
took almost 10,000 views for someone to point that out, though.
Yeah, I mean that guy gets, I guess, points for being the first one to make I what certainly sounds like a legitimate complaint, right? It's like he's chosen a good argumentation vector there. He's a good warrant. Um, but of course, his real reason is because he wants to assert dominance of some sort. I would guess. That's how I interpret everything, though. So who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's strange. Like, really, I find that comments can be constructive, but most of the time, the constructive criticism comes from people you're close to, as opposed to random people. If someone randomly gives you constructive criticism, it seems very accidental, and it's usually not their intention. You know.
Well, you know who gives me good advice in the comments is Margie, whose name is not pronounced Marjay. I get a lot of good, like just general, keeping me on my toes. She's like Metasoap but sane.
Oh, I
Sorry,
feel bad laughing.
sorry, Metasoap, if you're watching this one. I doubt you are.
You
I
think
think
that, yeah, that's why I was wondering. Do you think Metasub still watches?
I don't
It's
know.
hard to say.
It
I don't think,
is.
to clarify, I do not think Metasub was insane, but I mean, obviously there was certain disagreements that were had. So
Yeah, okay. I'll second that. She's not insane. Uh, anyway, let's move on. So, Zachary, what we haven't said in this video here is that we are formally uh, making our relationship casual again, so to speak. Uh, in the sense
formerly
that,
casual.
you notice that I changed the channel art. I actually called you the other day. I don't know if you got my voice message or not.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
I've I've had my phone for 3 years. I've never checked my voicemail, so I just wanna, yeah.
that's cool. I
But
don't
what did
check
you
mine
say
either.
by any chance? Or I don't know. I guess I mean this is okay to be public. Was it something along those lines?
It said, "Hey, Zachary, what's going on? I want to buy you out. Give me a call."
Ah,
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. I feel like I'm afraid of my phone. I hate using a phone. There's
I
something
know.
about using a phone. I just
I'm afraid
fucking
of my
hate.
phone too. I'm afraid of my phone too, dude. I don't want to look at it right now.
I used to every time I heard the text tone, I get like anxiety. I had to change my text tone so I wouldn't have anxiety about it. And then now I get a text, I'm just like, what the fuck was that? And then I'm like, oh, I got a text. Whereas before it was like you get a text and it's just like, oh fuck, what now?
That's the thing. Is it's the what now factor. What now? Somebody's got a problem.
Yeah.
Someone's got a problem with something. You know, it's always somebody's got a problem. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Zachary and I already talked money and stuff a little bit. We're not going to go over that in public necessarily. I think eventually I may end up choosing to do this. I wonder what your thoughts about this are. I was thinking when I get everything straightened out after the beginning of the year and get all like the big payments back and forth done and stuff, you know, like so that I find out how much money I actually have to work with, of making all my finances from that point forward completely public. On like to say, this is how much money I have. Now let's see what we're gonna do with this. You know?
Like document your like money management.
Yeah. Like okay, well, this is how much money I have. This is how much money I got from the debate business. This is how much I. This is how much Target Furniture was making, and this is. I want to do all these various projects. How am I going to do this? Just want to make the
Leave
whole
it to
process public.
leave it to an ENTP to make something that's generally seen as like secretive and like personal and not to be asked about into a like a game, you know, where it's like, here's my
Right.
money, let's see what I can do with it.
Yeah, right. Why not? I mean, I don't have a lot of it. That's why I'm waiting till the beginning of the year where I have at least like I don't know a decent chunk to play with, right? To set up projects and stuff with, and then maybe go in public because um, it's the weird thing is as I'm trying to go through and like talk about like everything, right? I want to talk about everything. I want to talk about everything that I've got going on. I want to talk about everything that everyone else has going on. I want to talk about everything. Um, an important actual factor in everything is money stuff, like saying, well, these are your actual options. This is what I need to do more of with myself. Say to myself, Eric, this is how much money you have. These are your actual options, and you can't do them all. And you're going to have to be wise and really choose carefully so that you maximize impacts. I think if I did it on video, if I had somebody watching me, then I would do it. You know, I'd do a better job.
But this is on a related note regarding like a past activity that required money management. The whole Utah trip is still in the past 5 years. That's probably the most significant experience that's ever happened to me. Like that was just it was amazing. Like I will always remember that shit, and it just like I never would have thought. I mean, I spent the past 2 or 3 years of my life isolated in my room, like not talking to anyone. I literally did not leave my house. Literally didn't barely left my room, other than to get food, and just to think that, you know, if I had known like during that time that, see, I knew if I just held out, eventually things would get better, and I never thought I would be going to like experience this thing with people from the internet that are like me, you know. I always felt so isolated and with people who I didn't get along with at all, and that whole experience was just so mind blowing to me, you know. It was.
It was huge for me too because it is one of the first things that I felt like I really made something happen. Like I wanted to. Like that's what I want to do is shit like that. Make shit like that happen. Make weird shit like that happen. And I finally did, you know. It felt good. It was awesome. It was great seeing you and you know, we didn't make as many episodes as I had hoped to, maybe, but we did get a couple of good ones. The one with you and what's his name? The
Or
one with
Felix.
Felix. Yeah, I tried coconut. That's what he called himself. Coconut. That's the word I was looking for.
Coconut.
That one's really good. That's a really entertaining episode.
Yeah. I honestly I didn't know what to expect. I just wanted to just talk about stuff. Like I had never really had a conversation with Felix. I wanted to see how he operated. And it was just it was really interesting to hear his thoughts on or how he approaches life, kind of. You know, that was it's really interesting. And it was so interesting though, the whole community where it's like when I was with the coaches and everything, and we're just waiting around for ballots, and it's like if you bring up the name of a philosopher or a school of thought or something, everyone's familiar with it. Everyone can discuss it. That's something that I do not have in my day-to-day life. I never meet people like that. I have to go online to find people even remotely similar to that, you know. And it was just so, it was so amazing to like, I mean, everything about it. Even like the anxiety I had by judging kids because I had no debate experience at all, you know, and I'm just like listening and writing on these arguments. Like part of me is like paying attention. There's like a 30% of me that's like, oh my god, holy fuck, like I hope I'm able to do this properly. And it was just, I don't know, it was fucking crazy, you know, meeting everyone and just.
Well, I wish we had done a little bit better, but I am so happy that we had at least one team advance far because that's part of the experience too. Is when you're waiting for those results to come in, and you know, I wanted it so badly. I wanted it so bad, and they wouldn't give me the results that day. I had to wait until the next day to find out.
Yeah, that shit was ridiculous.
Yeah, when somebody texted me, I don't remember who it was. Might have been you, might have been Abraham. I was in the room and I got the text that we made semis. I was just ecstatic. I mean, the happiness at having beat Kudos to get into semifinals. I mean, how much better could it have been than that, right?
Yeah, I mean, just like it was just although things could have like gone perfect, everything went really well, and it was so funny seeing like the little instances that were like it was the whole experience was like up and down. It was like excitement and then like anxiety and then like excitement like anxiety and it was just like a roller coaster. It felt like a perpetual like roller coaster that lasted for like 4 days or something, you know. Especially when do you remember when that one judge like they said that Edmund and Connie or they said they didn't judge. They only judged on like speech or something like that. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
And
I
you had to go
remember.
talk to the. That was so, my heart was pumping when we did that. I was so nervous. I was like, oh my god, what is going to happen here? Especially when things started to get tense when you were talking to them. You know.
Right. Those fuckers. Those fuckers. I tell you, man. Those fuckers were shady in that tab room, that East Coast tab room. Anyway, yeah, that was fun, and I really enjoyed. I'm glad you and me and Delilah were able to go down to the river and
Oh yes, that was the perfect ending. You know.
hang out, get a little river videos there. That was very, it's like that makes my SI happy, right? That's something I put in my SI, and that makes SI. I have to build up SI because my SI is like now last couple of years, and then like there's like a 10-year period of I don't know what was going on there. I can't remember much, And then
Yeah.
there's before. So I'm building up new SI memories to go into my head and go, oh, that was nice. Sometimes I
That
do
was
take advantage of that. I take advantage of that SI option where you can sit there and remember something pleasant from the past and feel pleasant about it again.
yes, the nostalgic. You know, like it's that was a great memory. That like just it is just so insane to me that I found this channel like at the beginning of this year. I mean, the beginning of this year was when I was just coming out of like isolation, you know, and I found your channel through like the ENTP video, and I started coming on here, and it's just like holy shit! I've had friends that I'm still friends with that I've known for years online, and I've never. I mean, we talk ever so often, like, oh, what if we met up, blah blah blah, stuff like that. But like, just to like go out and meet people online that I'm like, I am like, that in essence with, come from the same cloth almost, and have like a meaningful experience, and it's just fucking great, man. It's fucking amazing.
Well, yeah, thank you for being a part of it. It's been awesome having you functioning as a partner here, and it's going to be awesome regardless having you function as a friend going forward. It's, like I said to you before, whatever happens, no burned bridges. We're cool. I like you. You were great with my parents. I'll always remember that appreciatively. And regardless, I think eventually you're going to find your way back to YouTube with your own channel because you're going to realize it's the easiest way available to you to make money. And you're going to realize that making a bunch of videos every week is easier than going to school and studying shit or whatever else you got going on or working wherever.
Writing essays about my favorite color. Yeah.
Is that what you write essays about at school? Your favorite color?
Well, I haven't wore any yet, but last semester, favorite TV show, favorite color, and it's just like, are you fucking kidding me? No.
That's college?
Yeah. It's pretty fucking stupid.
Which color was it? It was your favorite.
I don't even. Well, the best part too is that we were supposed to write that because we were supposed to compare that to a personality thing, like what people's favorite color is, how it corresponds to their personality. And I was just thinking, like, how scientific, It's like it's so stupid. Like it was so ridiculous. But I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it's more about like the grammatical, like the make sure the syntax is good and everything like that, as opposed to really the substance. But you know,
You should have chosen hue number 7. I never defined what color it was.
oh my god, that yeah.
Hue number 7 is my favorite color, and people who like hue number 7 experience a wide range of positive things.
But yeah, mention the formal casual relationship. For people who are watching, like I'm still gonna be around. I am still around the channel. Like it's just that like the official like partnership is going to be over.
Yep. And as I was saying before going in at the beginning of this or something, is I have a little bit more faith in myself now, probably, that I can provide, I can make videos people like, you know? And that ultimately is my goal. And because I'm making videos that are somewhere between vlogging, teaching, fighting, or
I
interviewing,
actually like the
or
teaching videos. I think that it's very interesting watching the teaching videos. I mean, it's basically like watching a college course. It really is. I mean, I would say it's a lot. I learn more watching those than I do fucking listening to most lectures over at college.
well, thank you. It's nice to hear. I appreciate it. The thing about the teaching, the thing that I'm trying to actually teach stuff about, it took me a while to start actually being explicitly doing that on the grounds that it seemed presumptuous or something. But I think I misunderstand the level of acceptance people are willing to afford me, at least at this point. But I think they're willing to be okay with maybe me presuming to instruct about certain things, like particularly argumentation stuff. When I make the videos
I mean,
about,
that is your profession. I mean,
yeah,
it
right,
literally is your profession. You know.
yeah. So I feel a little more comfortable doing that, and it's the difference between ENTJ and an ENTP, right? It's like Chad has no problem positioning himself as whatever he wants to position himself as, and he's not worried about the fact that there's something slightly anti-egalitarian about some of it, you know. But that's such a core priority for me that nobody gets to be special, right? Like everybody has to be equal on a not on a
Social.
yeah, like on a social level or something, and before the law, of course, and in lots of ways, everybody has to be equal. That nobody gets to be a dick because they're important, you know.
Mhm.
If you get to be a dick, it's for good reasons, like the other person saying something stupid.
Even in like the, yeah, I think that the dynamic you have with the students is way more. Um, it's more meaningful and it's more productive because it's sort of a you recognize that even though you're in, I guess, what you could be considered like the authoritative position, it's more of like an organic cooperation to achieve something, which is to learn to debate better, to learn the subject. Everyone is on equal footing there. You know, there's a core idea in mind, and there's an organic process that's uh, executed in order to achieve that. And it
Yeah.
should be that way as opposed to just basically childcare.
Right. Well, and it's because they understand that the metric is honest, and when I tell them, oh well, for me to be successful, you guys have to be successful, that it's literally true, and
Mhm.
that I can't just give them A's and call it a day and say, see how successful I am? My kids got
Yeah,
A's. I am such a good teacher. I gave them
that's the
all
thing.
A's.
That's where I'm conflicted about the whole public education thing. Because I mean, I had never even really thought about the idea of like, I mean, I had my general criticisms of it, but you know, it really doesn't. In its current incarnation, it does not incline teachers to really give a shit. It really doesn't because they have nothing to lose. They get a standard check. It doesn't fucking matter if the kids pass or not. It really doesn't even fucking matter. And it's just sad, you know.
Right. I mean, most importantly, another way to put it is they can't even. There's nothing. They don't get to win. You know, if they do a good job, they, what do they?
Exactly.
What do they win? They win everybody telling them they're a good teacher or something, but they don't make more money. They don't. They don't compete against any. They don't get to say I'm better than that teacher. Even Some people might whisper it, but not the sort of thing you say openly. Well, I mean, what's the point in trying hard then?
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I'm also opposed to. It's on a related note. I'm also opposed to like in sports now where they give all the kids trophies and shit. Where it's just like basically like, oh, we're all just it's just practice. Like we're everyone's on equal footing no matter who wins. And
Well,
you know.
what you may not have known, Zachary, actually, some of the trophies, most of the trophies for the losing team, they all say, "I am a loser" on them. So it's
Now
okay.
that would be great. That's a great idea. You know,
It's a loser punishment trophy.
they have to sit through the sort of ceremony to be appropriated as the losers.
Right.
You weren't good enough.
Okay, first we get the losers up here. Losers, today we celebrate your losing ways with these trophies that say, "I am a loser." Hold it close to your bosom. Feel its truth entering your body.
And now we will engage in the 5 second applaud in the mocking, the preceding mocking of this group of individuals
The
who walk.
the shaming clap. Okay, the shaming clap is like this. It's three claps like that, and you have to have that facial expression when you do it.
They have a someone who is particularly selected to come up and vomit during the process.
Yeah. Can you remind me, please, who is the coach who put these rules in place? These crazy rules. The losers shaming protocols. We have an award ceremony. It's 3 hours long. 2 hours and 45 minutes of it is shaming the losers.
That'd be fucking fantastic. Or we could go back to how the Native Americans did it, where if the losing team is exiled, literally exiled from the civilization for a year, and the coach of the winning team gets beheaded and put with a bunch of other like winning heads to honor them.
I don't like that idea at all. The coach of the winning team gets beheaded. That's a bad idea.
Those fucking Mayans.
Yeah, Mayans. Well, all right. So let's end this video. Nice chatting with you about this stuff. I think this would be a good announcement of the change, and we'll still see Zachary around. Thanks for watching Talking to Famous People.